the Kashmiri human rights violations was when he stated that we need to support Hindu nationalists against Islamic terrorists. And so it's no surprise that his policies are very largely based on stereotypes of the very same Muslim community that he claims to represent. He also has been one of the co-sponsors of the bill in Congress to outlaw any type of boycott, criticism, or anything of Israeli companies or Israeli policies, therefore pretty much violating the free speech rights of all Americans, let alone those of us that are directly impacted by this issue. And so I think that it's necessary for us in this moment to come together as a community to unseat somebody that has been in power for 30 years, who has not spoken to the minority communities that he claims to represent. And he shouldn't be, by default, getting our support simply because he has always been there. We need to hold our representatives to a higher standard. And for myself, I decided to run because I am a product of this district. I was born and raised in New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl through and through. And a lot of the work that I have done has been to push the Muslim narrative into the mainstream, into mainstream media, amongst mainstream organizations. My company, MuslimGirl.com, which I started in high school with the intention of reclaiming Muslim narratives in the media, became the first Muslim company on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, and is now one of the most influential platforms in the world for the conversations directly impacting us. And it was also the platform that had an interview with Ilhan Omar last year, in which she publicly declared her support for the BDS movement, which was the first time in American history that any representative took that stance. And so that just proves the power of when our communities are empowered to speak on our own behalf. And it is, alhamdulillah, in large part because I have had such great examples when it comes to the women that have been paving the path before me, like Representatives Rashida and Ilhan, national organizers like Linda Sarsour, all women that I have been blessed to really be mentors to me and encourage me to have the courage to run for office and to take this journey here to represent our communities, a coalition of communities that have not been represented or had a seat at the table, that I am choosing to fight for us in this race. And in that fight, I'm now the first Muslim woman in American history to ever run for Congress in New Jersey, which is shocking, I know, because we're in 2020. Who knew that it would take that long? But this is the moment that we're in. And so our community has a very important opportunity in front of it, which is to elect our first Muslim woman representative to Congress from our state, and also to take someone out of power that has simply not earned his place there, nor the support from our community, and to really push our progress forward, our agenda in Congress on a national scale in a way that will directly benefit and help us and empower us. And at the end of the day, our dignity, our self-respect, our value as a community proves that we deserve to speak for our own behalf. And I'm not just talking about the Muslim community, I'm talking about all minority communities. We deserve to have our own members speak for us and fight for us, and we must be able to empower them to do so. So I hope that I can count on all of your support in this fight. It is very much a David and Goliath battle against 16-term incumbent, $3 million of spending power from lobby money and major corporations, and corporations that have been damaging for us as a community as well. And we could really use the community support of getting out the vote. Right now, we are in the midst of our final fundraising push before our primary, which is exactly 2 weeks from today, inshallah. And so if you are able to empower us by donating to this final push, that would go a tremendous way for our campaign and fighting back. If you are able to help us get the word out to your respective communities and people that you know in our district to vote for our campaign, that also will be a tremendous help for us as well. And if you have kids, especially if you have daughters, to let them know that they can come support by volunteering for us and being part of a historic campaign, the first of its kind for our state, and inshallah, the first of many to come after it. So thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Imani. But only one thing I'm going to say on this platform, especially, so many of our representatives, they belong to different communities. Here on this platform, we work as one community. So we will not talk about anybody else, any Jews and Indians, anybody. But what I prefer to have a put down our agenda. So what is our agenda? What we're going to do for the community? Why people should vote for a candidate? Is you could be a Muslim, you can be a Pakistani, but our theme or our goal should be that we should have what ability and what we can do for the community, what can give back to the community, so that community stand behind you or any other person running for an office. So I once again I said we are here as one community after COVID-19. What God shows us that there's no religion, there is no ethnicity, there is no color of skin can divide us. What only can do as one community, we can fight our racism as one community, we can work as a community. So thank you very much, Imani. That was your thing, and I will request that whoever listened to her, and she need a support. She's running for 6th district. Let me give it to Mavis Siddiqui. Is one of our well-known media coordinator, and I will request him so he can tell us what's going on in New York at this minute right now.
I think right now, this time what I see, like our community, mashallah, Pakistani community, especially Muslim community, was very active. I see myself like everywhere because of the pandemic. Alhamdulillah, the Muslim community was forefront to be as serving the humanity. Everywhere, every corner you go, our Pakistani brother, our Muslim brother, they are serving. So, and also they understand the need of the time to be participate in American politics. So it's a big, change. What I see from the last, is okay for the last other election. So this is really good news for us. And I see myself about, especially I want to, salute my brother Wasim. He was everywhere. I see him, his Bronx and Brooklyn. Because the thing is, as you says, nobody can divide us as on our because of our religion, our race, or color. But also, as a Muslim, as a Pakistani, we have to recognize ourselves. Because now we are fighting. Alhamdulillah, we don't have that much problem like the Afro-American face or Jewish brother face, but we are not facing that much problem. But still, because we are in limelight, so we have to identify ourselves as a Muslim or Pakistani, then we can get the rights. Yes, we don't want to take someone else's right, but we want to get our right, because now if we be a part of the society, if the part of the American politics, then people will know we are not they, we are not separate, we are among them. We are American as the other people. Some people came like 400 years ago, we came like 50 years ago. Or yesterday. So whatever. So alhamdulillah, I see outside now, especially I call my friends, they are voting. And this is really good. And I encourage you to call your neighbors, call your friends to support those candidates who are supporting us as a Muslim, as a Pakistani. The first time I also use my Facebook for the congressman, especially because as Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, if you are not thankful of the person, you are not thankful of Allah. So person could be anyone, any non-Muslim and Jew or Christian or whoever. If someone supporting our cause, someone supporting us as a Muslim, as a community, so we should support. It's our religious duty. Some we are hoping, but some they prove themselves. Like Congresswoman Edith Clark, she proved herself. She raised her voice for the Kashmiris, especially, I think the brother who says, brother Kashif says, especially Kashmiri community. You know what? When she gives this statement and was in my on my TV, Geo TV, everywhere, So Indian consulate, they went to meet her, and she, she was not apologized like the congressman, what's his name in Long Island. He was like little apologetic and he wanted to play both sides. But she was stayed firm with what she says. So this time we have to support. Sometimes, you know what happened? Sometimes if, I encourage my sister, she was running for, congresswoman, and that's good. We have to learn with our school. At the same time, if we see we can win, so we have to support those candidates who are our supporters. Sometimes what happened as a Muslim, we take 1,000 votes or 500 votes. So, but what happened? We make difference between our supporter and others. So inshallah, first we see if any Muslim candidate can win, then yeah, go and fight. But if you damage someone, so please support Muslim friendly or Pakistani friendly candidate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will go to Ali Rashid. He is very active, not only in politics, but in social activities. In last COVID-19, he did work with the community to reach out to others.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to take my, I didn't see Ali Rashid, but also Ali Rashid is really, really good. And is, I think he's the one who started, as a youth. So his participation and his role for American politics is really appreciative. I salute our brother Rashid Ali. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me get back to Ali Rashid. I would like to hear your vision and how do you see where our community stands once the election comes in, and what is our community role and why should we vote?
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you, Sam, by putting this together, and thank you. First of all, I think as Mohammed said, this time our community has been in the forefront, and they actually went out. We were based in Queens. A lot of people we were supporting just candidates just because they came, take a picture, and then our goal as a Muslim, as a Pakistani, is what everybody's saying: support the people who actually supports us back. We actually had a fundraiser where we raised close to 100,000 congressmen, and when thing really got to him, he really shook up and he wasn't to crumble under pressure. So we need to, when we make sure when somebody asks for our help, asks for our assistance, we need to have a sit down with them. We need to make sure we put our agenda, put our points, make sure that we have representation in if they win, and basically go over everything. Don't just go over, they're good for them. Look at their progressive, look at what agenda they have. Look how they're going to attack a Muslim living in the United States, in New York, and how it's going to Pakistani standpoint.
Aslam bhai, please mute yourself. Aslam Dillan bhai, please mute yourself.
Go ahead, Rashid, please.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's what we've been doing for past. APEC came in existence a year ago, and that's the kind of role we're trying to play. That anybody who's running for election, make sure they come to us. We want to make sure that what they can bring to us, what we can bring to them, and with they win, they don't go against their words. It's not about just give them some money, take some photos. We want to get representative. We want to make sure, because first of all, we love our country, Pakistan, or wherever we're from as a Muslim, but this is our country now. This is where we're going to live. This is where we're going to grow our children. So we definitely, as a community, as a unity, you need united and get involved as much as possible. Coming back to the local races in New York, for us, I said there's a president race election. It's just a number-wise. Joe Biden has the nominee for Democratic, but on a local level, there's a lot of interesting races, especially in District 5, which we have the current Democratic chairman, who is Gregory Meeks, and there's a progressive challenge of Shania Chaudhry. He's from a Bangladeshi Muslim brother. He's running a great campaign, very progressive. And Gregory Meeks is a friend of Muslim community too. But it's good to have we need to support as many people as we can, where we see a Muslim person who think we could win. And he definitely has a chance of winning in Congress District 5th, which kind of encompass the Queens, South Queens area. Also, there's a very interesting race in Congress District 3, which is Tom Suozzi against Melanie. Tom Suozzi is an incumbent, but the other Melanie is again running a great campaign. For us, otherwise, I think that the Queensboro president election is there. So we have 5 different candidates running, and we actually had a whole debate against all 5 candidates, and we actually picked down what are 5 candidates, what they stand for, what are the what their values on Muslims point of view. If they win, what they're gonna do for Muslim, what they're gonna do for Pakistani community. And I think as APAC and as our group and most of our community, is supporting Donovan Richards for Queensboro president. He's a great guy. He's a friend of Islam, Muslim people and Pakistani people. He has promised us that if he wins, he's gonna deliver for Muslim people. He even told us if he wins, he's gonna make sure that everywhere, every Queens school district is halal. Even it's a mayor. Right now it's a pilot program from the mayor office. We're working with the mayor De Blasio, but he told us he's gonna go ahead and implement that, and definitely gonna represent us. That he's gonna give us some internship for the Pakistani community, Pakistani young kids who are gonna be represented in the borough hall. So we need all that thing to make sure that if we're supporting some candidates, they make sure they're winning and what they're going to give back to us. And if any Muslim, any South Asian candidates that are good, that actually, like Amani is there. And there's multiple. In Queens is Assembly District 24, which is a local assembly election in New York. It's a very interesting election because there's a full slate of Muslim candidates running against the incumbent Assemblyman David Weprin, who's also, again, a friend of Muslim community. But it's always good to sometimes have a change and, always support the people that we want. And one thing I want to mention, I've seen people when they win, some of our brothers, if they get an election small, post, instead of a gatekeeper, they're supposed to encourage people, open the arms and let people in, because that's the only way we're going to encourage our youth, our people to come and have a thing. But make sure everybody, if they cannot do anything, vote and reach out to your local Pakistani people, and they will definitely guide you in your local district, because I've been calling from yesterday, today. A lot of people have told us who to vote. I've given them a description. So call your neighbor, friends, families, everybody, but make sure they go out and vote, because we have absentee ballot. But if you receive absentee ballot, you could still postmark it today if you don't want to go out vote. Polls are open till 9 p.m. But make sure the minimum thing you could do right now is go out and make sure you vote today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ali Rashid. Ali Rashid, what is the importance? What he's trying to say that no matter what party you belongs to, you can be either Republican and you can be either Republican or Democrat. In certain state is a Republican state, certain states are Democratic state. You still can vote. What is important as a community, Muslim community, if you vote and number of voters comes up and shows there's so many numbers, they come out and vote, that's actually counts. That's very important. Otherwise, you can choose whoever you like, whose agenda you like, who is good for your community. That's where it counts. So I'm gonna bring Brother Musab Ali. He was the youngest Board of Education member in Jersey City, very young kid, and second generation here in America. And let us hear his views about the politics. Why should be politically active in America?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sam. And again, assalamu alaikum to everyone. Sam, thank you so much for putting this event together. So as Sam mentioned, I got elected at the age of 20 in Jersey City, where I became the youngest person elected there, the first Muslim elected there, and also was lucky enough to be the youngest Muslim elected in American history at the time. And, with all those experiences, I think what's so important in terms of my story and my message is how important it is for each individual member of our community to go out and vote. When I won my first election, I won the election by just 60 votes. It was like 9,360 to 9,300. And those 60 votes make such a big difference in our communities. The last speaker was talking about this halal food pilot in New York City. In Jersey City, which is, right across the river from New York, we actually implemented halal food in every school. And that was, in a response because people realized, how important it was to engage with the Muslim community, the level at which the Muslim community was voting. We also got the Eid holiday off. And again, these were all testaments to what's done when you can build power as a community. And I think it's important for all of us to remember, as a Pakistani community, as a Muslim community, we need to hold politicians accountable. We need to make sure that, not only do we support them and get them into office, but once they're in office, that we make sure that we meet with them And Sam does a great job of this in New Jersey. We constantly invite legislators to our events, and we ask them questions. We say, listen, how are you supporting our issues? How are you making sure that our community is being represented? How are you making sure that we have engagement? How are you making sure that we're represented? Because there are so many positions and boards where you don't have to be elected. You can be appointed to these positions, but it's only when you have these relationships with politicians, when you're able to engage with them as a community, that we're able to get these positions. So again, I'm also watching very closely in New York, the race that was mentioned earlier, Representative Engel versus Jamal Bowman. I think that's a great, race for our community to be involved in, as well as Amani's race here in New Jersey. I think it's very important for us to remember how important that one vote can be. Again, in my case, it just took the difference between 30 people voting one way versus the other way to make that difference. And it all stems from our community coming together and building unity and building bridges for everyone that's involved. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much, Musab. Thanks a lot. And let me bring in very most politically active communities activist Ehsan Chughtai. Ehsan bhai, can you hear me? Okay, I think I'm going to go to the
Yes.
yes, Ehsan bhai. Okay, so would like to know your views on today's primary election in New York, and you are behind a few races, especially the Clark on 9th district and one Mr. Fall on Staten Island. And this so can you please give us an idea what's happening and how our community involved?
Well, first of all, Sam, thank you so much for putting this together in such short notice. And mashallah, our community, the way everybody responds in such quick manner. Mashallah, look at the people that joined us today. I'm so proud to be brothers with everybody, and of course sister as well. Let's not forget our sisters. Before, when I was growing up, we didn't have this kind of engagement, and now I see, mashallah, everybody's doing a wonderful job in whatever capacity that they're doing it in. And I'm so proud of all these brothers and all these sisters that are doing a wonderful job and finally standing up, running for office, or even helping elected officials run. It's an amazing. Right now, you have these three races that are really, really important to us, I guess, here in Brooklyn, or within the circle of our friends. Obviously, for me, my dear heart is with Zohran right now in Astoria. I think the volunteers that are out there are doing an amazing job. I think the Muslim Democratic Club that's out there right now with Alia and Faiza and all these guys that are helping out with Zohran. We've sent over a lot of volunteers from Brooklyn to help out Zohran as well. I really believe that he will be the first South Asian to be elected to New York State office. I'm really, it would be, for me, it would be an honor to see Zohran take office, and that'll be the first of many South Asians to come after that. Here, we're in Brooklyn. We're helping Yvette Clarke run for Congress. Well, I mean, she is a congresswoman, but we're helping her remain that seat. And we got involved when we spoke to her and said to her that, look, we haven't had a voice when it came to United States Congress, and she was the only one openly talking about Kashmir issue when nobody else even dared to talk about Kashmir, and that's one of the main reasons why I think we all supported her, and that's why we're supporting her, and we're working really, really hard. The turnout is very, very low in our neighborhood, but so far what we've seen is pretty much that everybody came to vote is voting for her. So I believe she's going to take that seat. I'm not going to say easily, but with low turnout, you never know, And then I got my brother Charles Fall. What can I say about this brother? We all love him. We all love him dearly. Second Muslim in assembly. I'm hoping he doesn't have such a tough fight and he holds on to his seat. I'm pretty confident that he'll be holding on to his seat as well. and that's, you know, that's where we stand. We just got to continue. So this is not a continue, but I think this is a beginning of a beautiful coalition. Look, you know, we all run our different organizations. That's the bottom line. You know, we all work towards our own goals, but when it comes to political, I think that we can figure out a way to come together. I think we all have different views, and mashallah, everybody's views beautiful in its own capacity. But I think we have to work harder starting now. Let's learn from now that working together politically is much more stronger than working politically separately, because you guys can run your own organizations and have congressmen and senators and come to your little events, but they become little events. But if you put all these teams together, alhamdulillah, that becomes a huge, huge powerhouse, and we can become a voting bloc. We can never become a voting bloc if we keep doing it individually. And we just have to keep doing more of these meetings, man. We have to continue. So after today, I vow to join every one of my brothers and sisters, whoever needs help. And the sister who's running in New Jersey, who I just found out, I didn't even know that. You know, no matter what the cause is, I think we should support our own. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ehsan Bhai. And I will bring now the perspective from our media, from our journalist brother, Mohsin Zahir. He is actively involved in many campaigns. He's following a lot of campaigns. So Mohsin Bhai, please give us an update. What's happening in New York?
Excuse me. जी, thank you very much. सैम भाई, बड़ा अच्छा आपने, सॉरी मैं इस वक्त बाहर हूँ, आपको मेरी आवाज ठीक आ रही है? मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, so बड़ा अच्छा आपने काम किया आज। ये एक जरूरत थी वक्त की, ये जो मीटिंग है, और इसलिए भी जरूरी है कि अभी 9 बजे तक न्यूयॉर्क में पोलिंग जारी है। 9 बजे से पहले जो लोग जिन्होंने वोट नहीं डाला वो जाकर वोट डाल सकते हैं। आज न्यूयॉर्क में जो इलेक्शन हो रहा है ये इस लिहाज से बहुत अहम है कि ये डेमोक्रेट प्राइमरी जो है, आज इसमें जो भी कैंडिडेट प्राइमरी इलेक्शन विन कर जाएगा तो जनरल इलेक्शन महज एक कार्रवाई होती है पूरे करने के लिए। सो आज जो जीतेगा वही समझें कि आप कांग्रेसमैन या कांग्रेस वुमेन, स्टेट असेंबलीमैन, स्टेट सेनेटर या जुडिशियल डेलीगेट या जिस सीट के लिए भी जो लड़ रहा है वो लड़ेगा। दूसरी बात यह है कि न्यूयॉर्क की जो प्राइमरी है, आपको मालूम है कि ये डिले हुई थी कोरोना वायरस की वजह से। बहुत से लोगों ने बैलेट के जरिए एब्सेंटी बैलेट का ऑप्शन भी यूज़ किया था। वो अगर एब्सेंटी बैलेट का ऑप्शन लोग यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो आज की डेट में अगर स्टैंप होगी पोस्ट ऑफिस की तो उनका बैलेट वो एक्सेप्ट होगा। इसलिए मैं लोगों से कहूँगा कि जिन्होंने अभी वोट नहीं डाला और उनके पास एब्सेंटी बैलेट है वो राइट वे पोस्ट ऑफिस जाएं, अगर खुला है तो आज की डेट में उसको डाल दें। तीसरी बात ये है कि ये जो इलेक्शंस होने जा रहे हैं इसमें ऑब्वियसली जो पार्टी इलेक्शंस होते हैं उनमें एक से ज़ायद उम्मीदवार आते हैं और एक दूसरे का कॉन्टेस्ट करते हैं। मैं ये समझता हूँ कि ये इस वक्त कॉन्टेस्ट का वक्त नहीं है। जो भी उम्मीदवार हैं जो सेटल हैं, कम्युनिटी फ्रेंडली हैं, उनको ही सपोर्ट करना चाहिए बजाय कि डिवीजन हो और डेमोक्रेट और कमज़ोर हो जाएं। तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि जो इनकम्बेंट है और जो सही कम्युनिटी फ्रेंडली अगर हैं तो आप उनको सपोर्ट करें। और मैंने तो बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों को मोटिवेट किया है कि वो वोट डालें, जिसको भी वो चाहते हैं वोट डालें, लेकिन वोट ज़रूर डालें। और मेरी डबल सेंचुरी मुकम्मल हो गई है। 200 के करीब जो लोग हैं, ऑलमोस्ट अभी थोड़ी देर पहले 11 एक फैमिली ने 11 वोट कास्ट किए हैं, एक ने 6 वोट कास्ट किए हैं, और मैंने सिंपली एक फ़ोन कॉल्स की हैं सुबह से मैं कर रहा हूँ, लोगों को सोशल मीडिया पे पोस्ट कर रहा हूँ। और आखिरी बात जो बड़ी इम्पोर्टेंट है, देखें जो पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी है ये यहाँ पर 20 साल से मैं देख रहा हूँ, 20 साल से बहुत अरसा पहले ये कम्युनिटी यहाँ पर आई। मैं किसी के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा, हमारे लिए सारी कम्युनिटीज़ जो है वो बड़ी मोहतरम है, हमारे भाई हैं, फेलो अमेरिकन हैं। लेकिन जो कम्युनिटीज़ हमसे बाद में आई, आज मैं देख रहा हूँ कि वो लीड ले रही हैं, इलेक्शन प्रोसेस में वो लीड ले रहे हैं और बड़ी तादाद में उन्होंने अपने कैंडिडेट प्लेस किए हैं, बड़े अच्छे तरीके से उन्होंने मोमेंटम बिल्ड किया है। सो पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी आज अगर फुल फ्लैज अपने वोट डाले तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि ये कम्युनिटी आज जब लो टर्न आउट है न्यूयॉर्क के प्राइमरी इलेक्शन में, तो ये कम्युनिटी एक डिसाइसिव फैक्टर का रोल प्ले कर सकती है और पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी को आज किंग मेकर का रोल प्ले करना चाहिए। जिधर आज हमारे ना सिर्फ वोट डालने चाहिए बल्कि नजर भी आने चाहिए, ताकि लोगों को पता चले कि जिस तरफ इस कम्युनिटी के वोट जाएंगे वही नेक्स्ट कांग्रेसमैन, असेंबलीमैन, सेनेटर जो भी होगा वही होगा। और ये मेरा अपना बिलीव है कि इस कम्युनिटी की अब इतनी पोजीशन आ गई है, अब हमें सिर्फ ये साबित करना है। और आज का दिन जो है, आज का दिन भी नहीं बल्कि आने वाले जो 2 घंटे 3 घंटे हैं, यही अब हमारे पास है इस बात को साबित करने के लिए। थैंक यू सैम भाई।
Thank you, Mohsin bhai. I think it was very detailed analysis of what we need to do. The polls are open till 9 o'clock, and make sure you have a mask and you keep a social distancing when you go to the polling station. And as Mohsin bhai said, that's a lot of people, they have requested mail-in ballot at home. And sometimes these mail-in ballots, they don't even think, they think there's some notification from the election office. No, but you have to open up, it's a mail-in ballot. If it's too late to mail those ballots, if you have a today's stamp, you can still post it, but somehow some of the post office will close 6 o'clock. You can go to the polling station and your name is not going to be there because they already mailed your ballot. So you can ask for provisional ballot. So they will sometimes don't appreciate and they don't like that, but if you force them, they will give you the provincial ballot and you can manually fill your vote and they can cast your vote. So don't let your vote go into the waste. It is very important for our community that other communities, they only recognize due to their involvement in the political process in America. We should involve more and more. And you see that so many people are here and our community are taking their step by steps. And this is, as a community activist, as a community leaders, this is our job to reach out to our community and make sure they register to vote. And whatever the new upcoming new generation is coming, they come out and take interest in this election. I will go to Adnan Bukhari Saab. He just came from one of the campaign and he's involved in a few other campaigns. I will ask his opinion, what's happening today, what's the update.
Assalamu alaikum, Sam bhai. First of all, thanks a lot for organizing this Zoom meeting on this important day. Again, thanks for inviting me to join the meeting. I was at work, as you know. I've been, working throughout the pandemic, essential worker. So I just finished my work, came to Astoria to volunteer for Zohran's campaign. This is how we're gonna get there. You said many things, which I would just, repeat that voting is important. Definitely, we have to go out and show our numbers. Numbers count. There's no other way to win this race and or any races. Any political race is important when you show your numbers. We as a community, I think we are very strong. We just need to show our strength by going out and vote. And this is the day. Today is the important day that we have to put this thing on our priority list. Secondly, we have to have clear indicators to support any candidate. Candidate, they like what they like. They like your, they like to come to your events, take pictures, and they leave. Once they are in the office, they forget. So this is how you get it done. You need to have full control over your issues, so that when someone approach you, we have to tell them in a very clear picture and clearly that what our issues are. Foreign affairs is domestic affair, because one way or another, we are connected with our brothers and sisters and relatives living abroad. So regardless if it's local election or national election, state, senate, assembly, every legislator have to speak loudly and clearly that, you know, the issues in Kashmir, issues of Palestine, issues of Bosnia is important for them as well. And the last but not least is that, Sam Bhai, again, thanks for bringing all the leaders of this community together. I see having more organization is a division. I would request that we all have to, it is about time what Ahsan Bhai just mentioned, you know, this is about time to get together and be one voice, you know, because having more organization, it creates division, you know, because candidates or legislators, they know, you know, how to react or how to act or how to communicate with the community. They like our vote, they like our money, and that's how they play their game. So again, thanks for organizing this event. I will try to see if I can get Zohran. So I'm still joining this meeting, and once I'm in the campaign office, if he's here, I'll try to get him online. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adnan Bhai. And I will now come to one of my friend Raja Razak Saab, and he was actively involved. He's in Staten Island. There's a few races in Staten Island. Raja Bhai, Razak Saab, what's your update in Staten Island?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much, Sam Bhai, for conducting this important webinar. Actually, mostly we are active in Brooklyn area where we're supporting Yvette Clarke for Congresswoman. She's been always standing next to our community and supporting Kashmir cause and all other issues related to our community. And you're doing, mashallah, great job in New Jersey. And I think we need to change our approach, the way we are dealing with our representative. I think our approach is not right. That need to be, you know, like revisit. We are giving a lot to these representative, but unfortunately, we are not getting anything in return. It's not their fault that they are not, you know, like giving things back to us, but we actually don't know how to demand and what to demand. I think from here onward, especially, you know, like I urge you to, you know, like we need to work on our demands, what our community need, how we can help our community. You know, that's kind of approach we need. I have seen, you know, our Bengali brothers and sisters, the way they are working in this politics, they're giving vote, they're helping financially, but in return, they're demanding from representative. Like, for example, if they are supporting any district attorney, they are demanding that district attorney will, you know, like make sure to hire a few people from Bangladeshi community. And same thing when they supported New York City Mayor de Blasio, they demanded the same thing, that we will give you vote, we will give you money, but in return, we need that many thousands jobs for our community. I haven't seen such demand from our community. I mean,